Hello, people. It's been a few months, I think, since we had a session. This is, as usual, is completely ad hoc. It's a very short session today, probably about 10 minutes. Just a few very traditional songs, one or two of which I've done before, but which I'm hoping to do slightly better, with the usual few words thrown in for good measure. Now, note that I've just set up a dog party here in Greece. It's going to be announced officially on the 3rd of July. It is our aim is to get dogs to replace the political wide boys who we have in the current Greek parliament, because dogs don't have pockets, and dogs, I think, will probably protect our interests better than all these pluto-kleptocratic things in the parliament. So do come onto my Facebook invitation, and don't forget the launch of this new party, the dog party, in Greek, Dokomaton Skilion. Anyhow, all that being said, let me just simply start with a lovely English song called Early One Morning. I'll probably do all three verses because it's quite short. Bit sad, really. And here we go. Early one morning, just as the sun was rising, I heard a maiden sing in the valley below. Oh, don't deceive me, oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden so? Oh, gay is the garland and fresh are the roses I've culled from the garden to bind on thy brow. Oh, don't deceive me, oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden so? Remember the vows that you made to your Mary. Remember the bower where you vowed to be true. Oh, don't deceive me, oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden so? Last verse. Thus sang the poor maiden, her sorrows bewailing. Thus sang the poor maid in the valley below. Oh, don't deceive me, oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden so? Well, one of those sad little songs. And let's now do a Welsh song. Now, you know the Welsh and the English. Well, you know, the English say sometimes Taffy was a Welshman, Taffy was a thief, Taffy crossed the border and stole around our beef. Now, that's not very nice. This isn't the time for a history lesson on England's first colony, but there's a lovely, lovely song. I'm not using a capo, so it may be a bit low. I'll just do the first verse, and it's called All Through the Night. And as we know, the Welsh are actually rather good singers. So, here we go. Sleep, my love, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will lend thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and dale in slumber steeping. Love alone his watch is keeping all through the night. And a little instrumental which I've played before, but it's so lovely. It's Old English. It's said to have been written by Henry VIII, that rather complicated, unfortunate character. I won't go into him in great detail. He killed a mere two of his 6 wives. He destroyed English cooking by smashing the monasteries. He built up the navy, thereby destroying many of our trees and all the rest of it. But let's not go on about our Henry. If he wrote this song, then that was obviously his good side. And of course, it's quite well known. It's called Green Sleeves, and we'll do it. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. this tuning. It's a lovely little... You know, Mozart said that the guitar is like a miniature orchestra. I think he was right. It's a very delicate instrument, isn't it? You know, I mean, delicate things like... Let's do one of our famous quickies quickly. Now, does it ever occur to you that there's an element of what I call mass auto-lobotomization happening in our society? Why do I say that? I say it because, if you think about it, we're really just bipedic memories. Because without memory, nothing exists anyway. And the other point, I think, to remember is that only the past, and therefore only history, actually exists. We, of course, are frightened of that, and we run away, and we talk about the future and drawing a line under everything, because we're frightened. A phone call that suddenly came. My son, David, is going to cut the film, so I'll repeat what I said. I was saying that I think that we suffer from an element these days of what I call mass auto-lobotomization. What do I mean by that? Well, technology moves faster and faster. You go in the street and you see all these people, young people, usually youngish, whatever, and not so young, walking with their heads bent, looking at their things, and actually, without realizing, becoming lobotomized. They rush around, they try to do millions of things at the same time. Now, the other aspect of this is that let's not forget that we are merely bipedic memories. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that only history exists. Only the past exists, because the present is the past as it's happening, because it's flowing, tapandari. You can't stop and say, this is now, because it's gone as you speak. As I speak, it's history. I am history, now, as I speak. The future, of course, does not exist. It's a word, it's a term. Now, we go for the future because we're frightened of the past, and that's a part of the element of human nature. Hence the proverb, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Yes and no, because sometimes you want to take a little risk, but we prefer to repeat our mistakes and go for the devil we know. But sometimes, if you go for the devil you don't, maybe it won't be the devil, but you take a tough risk, and maybe one can improve the way we live. But finally, I want to say that I think that in order to really think, to reflect, you need the space not to think. Now, that's something to think about. On that note, let's now carry on with a lovely song. Again, we're going round the British Isles. Let's do another quick British one, a bit of a... No, let's not do it. I was going to do the British Grenadiers, but it's a bit sort of... it's a bit jingoistic, so we'll leave that one out. Let's go to Ireland and do just the first verse or two of Cockles and Mussels, which we all know, and it's lovely. Here we go. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone, as she wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels alive, alive, oh. It's a very sad song, that. You know what she really died of. They say that she died of an unfortunate illness, the result of her being a lady of the night, and indeed perhaps of the day as well, one could say. Now, we've done early one morning, so let's now move, because this is just a short session I'm doing this time, as you know. Let's do a lovely Scottish number called the Bonnie Banks o' Loch Lomond. It's a sweetie, it really is. And here we go, Old Scottish. By yon bonny banks, on by yon bonny braes, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love were ever wont to gae, on the bonny, bonny banks o' Loch Lomond. One more verse. 'Twas there that we parted in yon shady glen, on the steep, steep side o' Ben Lomond, where in deep purple hue the Hieland hills we view, and the bonny and the moon coming out in the gloaming. The wee birdies sing and the wildflowers spring, and in sunshine the waters are sleeping, but the broken heart, it kens nae second spring again, through the waif who may cease frae their greeting. It's a jolly sad little song, that. Romantic, you might say. Now, let's go to that wonderful man, Stephen Foster, an American. This is a lovely little song. And by the way, these are all coming out of this lovely little book, the Oxford Songbook. It's a very, very old book, and it was first given to me at prep school. And I'm very glad about that. And thank you, Miss Porto, for being such a good teacher. But all these years later, one remembers these things. Of course, music is rather special. You know, music and poetry together, I think, are integral parts of our society, and should be. And when they go, we'll be completely finished, and we wouldn't exist as even vaguely civilized people, would we? So, the old folks at home, here we go. Way down upon the Swanee, here we go. Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. No, let's do another key. Do you mind? Of course you don't. Here we go. Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. There's where my heart is turning ever, there's where the old folks stay. All up and down the whole creation sadly I roam, still longing for the old plantation and for the old folks at home. The sad story of the old plantations. Now, we're coming to an end. I don't want to do too much today. I don't want to addle your brains too much. I think I'm going to do, as I've done before, and I'll try and do it slightly better, a very quick little flamenco piece by Manitas de Plata. It's called Galop du Camargue, Gallop of the Camargue, all these white horses in the south of France, around north of Marseille and by the sea, thundering along. And it really is like horses galloping. It's usually played with 3 guitars, but I try it with 1, and it's short and sharp and rather good, and slightly sad. So here we go. Bit cramped, but it's a nice little piece, and one can expand on it and all the rest of it. I'm not sure about the complete quality of the sound, but this is a sort of fairly amateur thing. But thanks to my son David, who's standing here, but doesn't need to be shown, it'll probably be quite fun. Now, that is really about it, my dears. I'll just go a bit ad hoc now. I'm going to play a number of tunes for you one day. I used to play them, and I'm relearning them. I mean, there's things like you know this? You know that one, of course you can. That one I've nearly perfected, but that's just a teaser for you. You've got nice things like it's so beautiful, that one, and that's what I'm working on again to make it nice. Well, so much for the guitar, this beautiful beast, and I'm not yet doing it enough justice, but David, if you can just pop the guitar down there. Just to mention something now, something completely different, as our Monty Python people say. This is a book. You may be interested in it. It's called The Game for Rhodes. I don't want to say I'm advertising it, but it's only available on Amazon, and it's a very exciting geopolitical thriller. And it's happening at the moment. I wrote it. It's just out. It's about giving the island of Rhodes, the Greek island of Rhodes, to Turkey to get their help over Iran via Syria. There is there are a lot of naughty things in it, I'm afraid. Sex is used by spies. There's murder. There's everything. But it is actually quite gripping, so I've been told. So it may be worth a buy. It's my first thriller, because I was getting a bit not bored, but coagulated with too much on documents and Cyprus and purely scholastic work. So since one of the subjects I teach happens to be English literature, I thought I would actually write some sort of purer literature, if you like. It's not as bad as the nastiest parts of Oscar Wilde. It's my own style. It's got a bit of a stream of consciousness in it. But it takes place mainly in Rhodes and the Netherlands, The Hague. And it's quite frightening because everything's happening at the moment. So The Game for Rhodes. Anyway, apart from that, I hope you, in a perverse way or otherwise, slightly enjoyed this little YouTube thing. It's good to be back, and I'll try and be a little more professional and more fun next time, and perhaps do some better quality classical pieces. And also I'm working on Malagueña as well. God bless, and remember, don't think, just be. And don't always think better the devil you know than the devil you don't, because the other one may not be a devil. It might be an angel that you're putting in the cupboard. So God bless. Ciao. Keep well.